Hello, everyone. Welcome to Star Micronics webinar on Sophatar digital signage. Today, I have with me Bart Decan he's the founder of Sophatar. He'll be giving us a short presentation on the service that we just implemented with Star Cloud Services, followed by a Q&A at the end. If you have any questions, please enter them in the chat box, and I'll be glad to ask Bart for you. Bart, take it away.
Well, thank you, Kyle, and good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, everyone online. My name is Bart Decan. I'm the founder and CEO of Sophatar, and today our webinar with Star is about point-of-sale digital signage. And first word of thanks to Star for the cooperation and the opportunity to present today to you all. Point-of-sale signage is the topic today, so I'll be talking for about 40 minutes or so, and then I hope to have some questions from the audience. You can type them in the chat box, and I'll take a look at them during the presentation, or otherwise we'll address them at the end of this webinar. So let's get started. So what's the whole goal of what we're trying to do? Is driving higher revenue per customer, and that's applicable to both retail as well as hospitality, bars and restaurants, where we believe we have a solution that can finally overcome the unfair advantage that you have in brick and mortar retail and hospitality compared to online. If you look at online, really they have a leg up on physical retail in the sense that they can customize the experience for the shopper on a one-to-one basis. And in a lot of cases, this is done by just showing recommendations, products that are bought together that make you buy more stuff. And that's essentially the problem in physical retail. You cannot change your store inventory on a one-to-one basis. You cannot even change it every day, depending on external factors like weather conditions and so on. So that's really the problem with physical retail, is that user experience is kind of not personalized. Now, this is an interesting study that University of Wharton did, the Wharton School in Pennsylvania. They presented it at a technical conference a couple of years ago. So it's not a technology provider commercial paper. It's actually a research paper where they looked into the difference in the shopper basket size between a website that was showing recommendations in the sense of, non-personalized recommendations. So just products that are being bought together, versus a website that did not do that. And they came to the conclusion that if you show purchase-based, even non-personalized product recommendations, that can cause a lift of 25% in views and up to 35% in the number of items that are actually purchased. So over 1/3 of increase in average basket size of a customer when he is at a POS, because of products that he's reminded of and that go well together with what he has maybe already purchased. Of course, in online websites, you can do a lot more. You can do personalized recommendations because most likely the purchase history of that particular individual. We can do that as well in physical retail if there is loyalty cards and so on. But what I'll be presenting today is a solution to bring this type of recommendations, purchase-based, non-personalized recommendations to an actual store and hopefully have a similar increase in shopper basket size than what you can do online. So the goal of Sophatar's POS digital signage is to match this disadvantage that physical retail has had with online retail by using digital signage screens at the point of sale or actually throughout the store. It doesn't necessarily need to be at the point of sale. We call it POS signage because we use the sales transactions from the point of sale or from a device connected to the point of sale to drive basically the digital signage in a dynamic and a contextual way. But the screens itself do not need to have a physical connection to your POS or to the receipt printer. And we'll go in a lot more detail on how we actually do that. So the whole goal of this POS signage is to show in-store dynamic product recommendations to shoppers who are in your store, who are maybe buying similar products, remind them of other products at your store, and also potentially remind them of promotions and offers that are available at the store. And we can show that on screens in the store. That could be any screen, any TV screen, any LCD monitor that's driven by a media player, or it can be a tablet, a touchscreen at the POS, and we can then show that while they're waiting at the POS for their items to be rung up, and maybe they're reminded of some other products to add to their purchases. So a little bit of an introduction of the company. Sophatar stands for Sophisticated Avatar. We're a technology company in the San Francisco Bay Area. I founded the company about 3.5 years ago. We've participated since 2016 in a number of trade shows, including the National Retail Federation's big show in New York, where we just were last month for the 3rd time. We've done a couple of vertical shows, such as the Bar and Nightclub Show, the Restaurant Leadership Conference, more for hospitality segment. We also do signage-focused shows, such as the Digital Signage Expo, which is actually coming up end of March. We'll be there in Las Vegas with our booth, together with Star, showing some of the new products as well that we're working on. We've done a fintech show called Money 2020 in Las Vegas, where we were at the Star booth, and we also have a partnership with BrightSign, which is the market leader in digital signage media players. And we were at their booth both at DSC last year, Digital Signage Expo, as well as at Infocom, which is the large information display conference past June in Orlando, and this year in Las Vegas again. So what does Sophatar do? We're basically at the intersection of data analytics, digital signage, machine learning, and mobile communications. And our goal is to use the latest web and mobile technologies to increase customer engagement. So digital signage is one way to do that, but it's not the only way to do that. We also have handoffs from digital signage to the shopper's smartphone. And, we'll talk a little bit about that later on, although it's not the focus of this webinar. But we create signage that is driven by micro-location and macro analytics. So we can change what is shown on the screens based on the exact location where somebody is and based on presence of consumers nearby, as well as data analytics, such as the receipts that, in this case, we're getting from the Star POS receipt printers. And the whole goal is to drive higher customer engagement in both retail and hospitality. The opportunity we saw a few years ago, and what we really think is exciting about this technology is that, signage is everywhere, but if your signage is just showing a static playlist, it's nothing more than another TV screen. So how do we make digital signage more relevant by automatically using different data feeds to drive the signage in a contextual and dynamic way? So that's really the goal of Sophatar. Now, digital signage, you may think, it's expensive, it's difficult to implement because of the hardware requirements. Well, it has actually changed a lot in the last couple of years. And the digital signage market is, a little bit saturated with hardware. You see screens everywhere because they've actually become very, low cost. You can use TVs, and they're actually pretty good in terms of reliability nowadays, rather than professional signage displays. You can use as your signage player any tablet, whether it's an iPad or an Android tablet. They have good touchscreen capability. You can use professional equipment. You can use professional media players or professional touchscreens. So there's really hardware solutions for every budget. And at Sophatar, we try to address all of these possibilities because we are hardware agnostic. Our service is a software as a service business model where you can basically use any hardware you already have or that you can purchase through a retail or reseller channel. So the challenge is really with digital signage to make content relevant, have it be more than just another TV screen, and therefore the value is moving to services because the player hardware is, I hate to say, but it becomes more and more commoditized. All digital signage players today, even just web-based signage players, have pretty good rendering performance. The software is standardized. It's pretty much all HTML5 today that is used to generate digital signage. So the value moves to services. Customers ask, what can I do more with my installed hardware to drive revenue? And of course, that leads into the whole discussion of Internet of Things connectivity, being able to connect digital displays to other peripherals, such as the point of sale receipt printer, in our case, our integration with Star, as well as the smartphone, and being able to do a handoff of things that people see on a screen and have them follow up with actions they take on their own phone. Now, it's all good and well, but is that solution affordable? Probably a lot of people on this webinar are thinking, well, my customers are SMB retailers, small and medium business retailer, the traditional customer base of Star here in the US. Our goal at Sophatar is to definitely make this affordable for retailers by providing a single subscription that can work on a range of hardware, whether it is consumer hardware to professional hardware, media players, and professional displays. So what do we actually do? What are our solutions for increasing this customer engagement? Well, there are three, and the one on the left here is the one that we're focusing on today, which is that POS digital signage, where we create contextual signage based on POS sales transactions. And we can show that on standalone in-store screens or on a secondary screen at the POS register. There can be a touch screen or just a regular TV, because our signage has both a touch version and a non-touch version. It's programmable. The screen that we generate, depending on the screen that you show it on, it can show some areas on the screen where you can actually tap and where your shoppers can ask for more information, maybe about the mobile coupons that are available at your store. Or it can just be a fixed screen with no screen interactivity. Our second solution I'll touch a little bit on at the end of the seminar, but it's not the topic of this seminar. I do mention it later on because it's actually linked to our POS digital signage. Second solution are mobile wallet passes. So it's a no app required solution for retailers to give coupons and loyalty cards. No app required because it works natively both on iPhones and Android phones. Without an app, you can actually have loyalty cards and gift cards and coupons show up on the phone. Talk a little bit more about that later on. And we then combine that with our digital signage, so we can promote the existence of these mobile coupons on the screens as well, next to the product recommendations. Our third solution, which I will not cover today, is proximity digital signage. This is where people actually use their phone as remote control for a digital signage screen that they're in front of. And the nice thing here is that there is no Wi-Fi connection needed. It works based on proximity. It works based on beacon detection. And we can basically show the content on somebody's phone that's available at each location where there is digital signage, and then the customer can select from that. Now, we will not be talking about this third solution today. It does require a mobile app. It can lead to higher customer engagement and better data analytics. But the drawback is you do need a mobile app on the phone. So our two first solutions we'll be talking about do not require any mobile app on the phone. So signage without context is just another TV screen, right? So the hardware is very inexpensive, but the issue is really what content are you going to show, and do your shoppers read all this in terms of promotions that are available at the store? They're probably just not going to do this. They're on Facebook after 30 seconds, right? And they're just not going to take the time to go over printed copies of your offers. So we want to nail it down to showing on larger screens content that's relevant, that's probably based on your sales transactions, and then focus on a couple of mobile deals that we want to show on screens without overloading them with all this, all this stuff. So what do? We do point of sale signage. We generate it based on the sales transactions. We do not need a mobile app because we're driving the screens. We're not driving somebody's phone in this case. We don't need any integration with the POS, and that's the value of working with Star. And the solution we have is compatible with any point of sale as long as you use a Star Micronics receipt printer. We do not need a physical connection between the display and the point of sale or the receipt printer. Essentially what happens is the Star Micronics printer is able to upload receipts to the cloud with an opt-in from the retailer. Any of their Windows or Mac connected Star printers today can upload receipts to the Star cloud. And Sophatar interacts with the Star cloud for those retailers that sign up to our service. We can then access their receipts in the cloud. We do data analytics on those receipts so that we see what line items are sold at the store. We aggregate that data over a week or over 30 days or 60 days, depending on the volume of receipts that print at that store. And then we can create signage that would show, for instance, the top sellers at the store. That's what you see here on this example. So we automatically create a signage screen that will show maybe your top 20, sellers at the store. We can also show screens for products that are being bought together so that customers are reminded if they buy product A, then they're reminded of product B, also available at the store, and they maybe want to pick that up as well. We have price information on all these products because we actually get that from the Star printed receipts. So we see if a product is being discounted automatically without requiring a direct interaction with the POS. We get it from the data on the receipt. We can show dynamic product recommendations based on sales transactions because every night, basically overnight, we're going to add the new sales transactions of the last day to our analytics engine. And therefore, over time, you will see the new products that are being sold at the store if those sales patterns change. In addition to product recommendations, we can also show a news sticker, as you see there at the bottom of the screen. Later on, I will actually have a link to a video that you can check out on the web where you see an example of our POS signage in actual operation. And you'll see that we have a news sticker that can be both general news items, CNN, ESPN, weather forecast, and so on. But we can also show your store's tweets and Instagram posts on separate screens. So that's in addition to the point of sale signage with recommendations. We can also show your tweets and Instagram posts and automatically connect your retail accounts on Instagram or Twitter so that it shows up with your pictures that you post on those social media as well on your screens. One more thing, the last bullet here on the slide is that we can combine this digital signage with our plan for mobile wallet passes so that you can also promote the retailer's coupons and loyalty cards on your screens. And a little bit more about that at the end of this webinar. So let's look at a case study where we actually put some of these screens in a grocery store, and let's see at the impact that we had on sales patterns. So what we did here, it's a grocery store here in California, where we had customized product deals that were showing on in-store screens. You can see examples there. We had 3 screens in the store. One was at the entrance, where we showed today's deals in the store because we were automatically updating the screen every day based on the data from the store's backend POS system. We were then at the produce section showing a screen with just produce deals, and then at the beer and wine section, just alcohol deals, essentially. We also had an iPad mounted at the cash register where we are repeating those promotions on a smaller screen, and then the customer was able to install a wallet pass on their phone so that they could actually every day see what the deals were at that store on their phone, because also the wallet pass we can update every day with the same content as what we're showing on the in-store screens. So that reminds the customer of product deals at the store at that particular day and hopefully drives traffic to the store. So it was a nice combination of both digital signage screens and mobile customer engagement. And we used regular TVs. They were driven by separate media players, but they're literally $200 TVs that we positioned throughout the store, and then an iPad tablet at the POS. All content is stored in the cloud. We don't need any local web server for our solution. So as long as the media player is connected to an in-store Wi-Fi, we can pull the data from the cloud, and all rendering of the video is being done locally on the media player. So it's fairly low data traffic over the internet. We really only need power wiring to the different displays and the tablet. So it's set and forget for the store operator. Once it's installed, the screens automatically update with new content every day without having to change any playlist or any other action by the retailer. So as a result, we ran it in one store, and then we have a comparison here to 2 other stores that were in the same metro area, literally a few miles away from the first store. We have the graphic in blue, which are the months before we started the digital signage, and the green is with our digital signage. You can see obviously some fluctuation month to month. The important thing are the dashed lines, which are the averages over the months that we ran this comparison. And you can clearly see in store number 1, which is the store where we deployed Sophatar. From the time of deployment, there was a significant impact and visible impact on sales data. And what you see here is actually the average shopper basket size. So it's the average dollar transaction volume on receipts in that particular store. Unfortunately, I cannot show you or tell you actual numbers. We're under NDA with this retailer, so I can only show you the trends, but there is no numbers on the axis for that reason. We can't disclose it. So the whole idea is on this POS signage to remind customers of other products sold at the store to increase basket size. And we can do markdown items. If a product, for instance, in a grocery store, if we detect that a product is lowering in price, we can detect that the price at which it is sold today is less than at which it sold yesterday. Therefore, we can create a screen automatically with markdown items. We can do promotions, we can do complementary products, because our data analytics measures the products that are being sold together on the same receipt, and then we can create a screen that would link those products together. You bought product A, think about buying product B as well, available in the store. So let's go a little bit more in detail now about the different components of our POS signage solution. It looks like there's a lot here, but the key thing to remember is that it's all part of one subscription for the retailer. We offer a SaaS, software as a service subscription, which is basically a monthly subscription, where all items that you see here are included in that subscription. So on the service side, we integrate with Star Cloud Services to have access to the receipts. As long as your retailer uses a Star printer, that's sufficient for us to have access to the line item data from the receipts. For the retailer, we offer a website login, so you can make actually changes if you want to the digital signage, not required. We have our own programmatic engine that programs what is shown on the screens, but the retailer can go in and make modifications. For instance, if a product is out of stock that we're showing on a screen, you would not want to promote it anymore. So you can just flip a switch to, delete that product from your in-store screens. We do user and billing management. So it's literally an invoice, entering a credit card. That's how we invoice the retailer month to month for the subscription. On the data side, we receive the data, the raw data from the Star backend. We run data analytics. We look at sales trends. We match individual line items to the point of sale catalog. So in that case, we do need an import of the POS catalog. And we also retrieve images. I'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute, but that can be very important for small and medium business retailers. Maybe is one of the reasons that digital signage hasn't really taken off, because, a lot of cases, these retailers don't have images of all the products they sell. So we actually match images based on a couple of different sources that we have access to. On the playback side, we provide a media player software that runs on any device with an embedded web browser. It's literally a web-based media player. We have different layout templates for signage. If a retailer wants a specific template of how the signage looks, we can import an HTML file, and then you have a customized layout of your POS signage. We have playlist management in the cloud. That's how we can determine, we're going to show recommendations for 50% of the time. We're going to show maybe the mobile deals for 25% of the time, and we're going to show the social media content of the retailer for 25% of the time. So we can program that in the cloud from the backend to determine what is shown how long on the screens. And we have third-party hardware integration. So I'll talk later about some of the hardware that we support to do the playback. So we work with third parties, hardware partners, to bring our POS signage to their platform. On the sales operation side, and if you're a reseller, we're very focused on selling this through a reseller channel. So we have an affiliate program for resellers that I'll talk about, and we also, through the distributors that are probably on this call, we can do hardware bundling of our POS signage together with the hardware that you already sell on your line card from different companies. So I'll have a few slides talking about each of those four topics in a little more detail. So first, on the service side, we integrated Star printers. So how does a retailer actually sign up for this? Well, if he has a Star printer, he can create an account. He or she can create an account on the Star Cloud Services website, and that's recommended because that's how you also get some of the warranty on your hardware. And Sophatar Digital Signage is listed there as a service you can subscribe to next to some of the internal Star services. You can subscribe to Sophatar Digital Signage just by clicking a subscribe button from within the Star website. And that is basically the opt-in from the retailer so that we can have access to the receipts that are being uploaded from the Star printer driver. Our subscription is based on a pricing to the retailer. So once the retailer signs up, he will be redirected to the Sophatar website where he can complete the sign up, just create a username and password, logs into the Sophatar website, gets access to a free trial for a couple of days. And then during that time, he enters a credit card, and that's how we can then do the monthly invoicing. If you're a reseller, we pay you basically a commission based on what the retailer spends with us every month. On the service side, so once you're in this website as a retailer, you can, as I mentioned earlier, make edits to what is being shown on your in-store screens. So the analytics are also available to you on our website, where you can see, for instance, if we have it set up with top sellers that we show on your screens, you will see the different products that we determine to be top sellers from your receipt analytics. You will see it on the website. You can go in and edit it. And you see two switches there. By just flipping those switches, you can switch on or off that particular product showing on your in-store signage. We have either a featured product, or we have the product being part of a table that can scroll in some of our layouts of our digital signage. So individually, you can make a product a featured recommendation, or just have it show in, as part with other, together with other products in that scrolling table of recommendations. You can click on detail, and that allows you to go and edit the product there and change the display name that's going to show for that product on your screen. So these analytics updates on a rolling basis, basically, based on our analysis of your receipts day by day, you're going to see like different things in there. And then you can add those products or add new ones. You can also manually edit or manually add new products to this automatically generated list. So what happens if you don't have product images? Well, no product images, no problem, right? Because we actually have, within each recommendation, we have a find button that is going to go and look for images that match either the UPC code that we detected, or if you don't have an UPC code, even from the textual description of the product, we can match, certain images. Works better for some products than other products. Sports products are a very good fit because there's a lot of images out there in the public domain. But if we have a UPC code, then that's of course ideal, because then we can actually get a real match to that particular product, probably from the manufacturer and from some UPC, the image databases that we subscribe to. Now, in order to do this, it is best that we have a catalog export, so that there is actually an export from your POS system, so that we can match the line items that are printed on your receipts to the actual entries in your POS system. That gives us the most complete information. Otherwise, it kind of depends on what the text is that is printed on your receipt to see how good we can do that matching. But even if we cannot do the matching, you can still create, or upload your own images and add those to the recommendations that we show. On the playback side, so the signage playback can be done on any web-based media player. As I mentioned earlier, pretty much the standard for signage today is HTML5. It's the same, HTML that is being used for websites. It also makes that digital agencies can reuse a lot of the content that they generate for websites for digital signage. But of course, our value is that you actually don't need to go to an agency and create these campaigns, because we have an automated layout where we just populate the data that comes from our data analytics engine, and we create a screen with your retailer logo and with your products automatically. Now, if you want to fully customize it, we do have the ability to import an HTML5, creation there from your agency, but it's not required to get started. And literally, the web-based player is as easy as pointing a web browser to a URL, log in with the credentials, the same credentials that you use to log into the website, and then everything happens automatically. The web-based player will pull the playlist from the cloud for your product recommendations, for your news sticker, for your social media posts, and potentially for your mobile deals if you have also subscribed to our mobile wallet passes. The hardware that you can use is any TV, LCD monitor, or tablet, consumer grade or professional grade. So you see three pictures there. The top picture is literally a 32-inch professional ELO touchscreen that has an embedded PC. We run Chrome in full screen, and that's how it shows on the screen. From that embedded web browser. It's touch enabled. Through the touchscreen, we can have certain areas of the screen where we can show, buttons that will bring you to, offers that you can program to be then, showing print offers or mobile coupons. Second screen is an ELO touch screen. This would be at the POS, where we would have a secondary screen that could be a secondary touch screen that is connected to your primary PC that runs a POS, or it could be a standalone tablet or a standalone touch screen. Again, we do not need a physical connection. As long as that tablet or secondary customer-facing screen is connected to your in-store Wi-Fi and is connected to the internet, that's sufficient, because everything comes down from the cloud. And then thirdly, you can use a regular TV or LCD monitor. As long as it has HDMI input, you can connect it to a media player. I mentioned earlier, we work with BrightSign to do some of this. That's a BrightSign media player you see there, but you can really use any media player that will have the capability to play HTML5 signage and that has HDMI output. So lots of possibilities on the hardware side, great opportunity for bundling of the POS signage software service, because we just do the software at Sophatar, bundling that with any hardware that is being sold by the reseller. And to that topic, our reseller affiliate program allows you to sign up as a reseller to our affiliates website at this URL, and that gives you the ability to register your leads. You can register the email of retailers you're talking to, and then if that retailer signs up for our service through the Star website, then automatically that sign up will be credited to your account. So we match basically the pre-registered emails that resellers enter. We match that to the actual signups on our website, and you automatically get credit the month after we have the subscription from the retailer. We get paid from the retailer. That in the month afterwards, we do a refund to you, and we give a generous commission of 20%, uncapped, and for the lifetime of the subscription. So this is an opportunity for recurring revenue for resellers. You have the one-time revenue from the hardware that you sell, but you get from the software, you have the ability to gain, month to month, 20% of what the retailer spends with us. So the revenue opportunity is in the display, the player, and the Star printer, is in the installation infrastructure and service. Obviously, there may be some mechanical things that need to be installed, like a pedestal for the, a stand for the display. So there's some opportunity there for installation and revenue generation from that. Training, recurring revenue on the Sophatar subscription, and recurring revenue on subscription upgrades. And that's what I'll talk about next. We have a couple of other programs that are available, and we'll also be extending our POS signage with new offerings in the future that are based on the data from the sales receipts from Star printers. So once we have that opt-in from the retailer for this POS signage service, we now have the ability to, you now have the ability as a reseller to promote new services in the future to that retailer. So that brings me to our next section here on customer engagement with mobile wallet passes. And that's one example of an add-on service that you can add next to the point of sale signage. As I mentioned earlier, it does not require a mobile app. It allows you to do customer engagement for coupons, loyalty cards, and even mobile orders going forward. I'll talk a little bit more about how that works. Mobile wallet passes, you may have seen them from boarding passes from airlines, right? A lot of the US airlines use it nowadays, where you can get boarding passes on your phone. They show up in Apple Wallet or Android Pay or Google Pay. Well, we do the same thing. You can actually create these passes from within the Sophatar website as a retailer. And you can create them with a couple of different layouts that allow you to do either coupons or loyalty cards or event tickets. A couple of examples that you see here. Each pass is part of a campaign, and each campaign has unique layouts. So every time a pass gets installed, it creates unique, instance of that pass that can have a unique QR code. And, that pass is then part of that particular campaign. You can do personalized offers. We have the ability to, for every customer, customize the contents of this wallet pass, although you don't have to. You can also have just generic content that's tied to a campaign, and then each pass of that campaign is going to show the same thing. In this case, we've created a couple of different campaigns that would be personalized based on prior purchases from the shopper. So let's say if you bought Doritos, we'll give you a free Coke. If you bought a food item, we give you the tangerines coupon. So we can customize those coupons based on prior purchases. We can also ask for customer information, so we can have PII, personal identifying information, entered by the shopper when they install a pass. And a pass install is nothing else than clicking a link. So these mobile wallet passes are very easy to distribute. You can just click a link on, a Facebook ad, a website that will bring you to a specific page that either installs the pass directly in Apple Wallet or Android Pay, or that brings you first to a page, as what you see here in the middle, a web page where you can now ask for PII from the customer. And then that data that is being entered is uniquely tied to that specific issue of the pass. So now every action that is taken, every redemption, every time a customer uses the loyalty card or the coupon, we actually know who that customer is because of the PII that is tied to that particular issue of the pass. We can use this for weekly specials because we can update these things as we go along. So once a customer installs a pass on their phone, you, the retailer, can actually, or potentially the reseller, if you provide it as a service to your retail customers, you can actually update these passes every day, every week as part of our subscriptions, unlimited updates, so that you can use this to announce new weekly specials. You can change a picture, you can change the text on those passes every week, and you can also do a push message to the lock screen of the phone every time you do an update so that your customer is reminded that there is new content available on this wallet pass. And then finally, on the right, you see an example how we use this for a rewards card. And this is a point-based loyalty card. Every time the customer comes in the store and has this QR code scanned at the cash register, we can actually update the number of points on the pass. So once you're at 500 points, in this case, you win a reward at the store. So a loyalty program can be implemented very easily with these wallet passes. Again, it's not the topic of the seminar, so I won't go too much more in detail about it, but I do want to show here what's possible with this. It also has a very nice link to our POS signage, because if you subscribe to our POS signage service, you get everything there that's on the left. You get these sales transactions that drive your digital signage that we talked about. You can show it on a standalone display or at the POS terminal. We integrate with the Star printer, and we do programmatic signage creation. But if you also subscribe to our mobile customer engagement, then you can actually promote these mobile coupons on your screens as well. So you see an example there of a signage screen that shows mobile deals, where we have this wallet pass showing a preview on your screen. The customer can now install this wallet pass on their phone in two ways. They can either scan the QR code that shows on the screen, and you may know that in the latest iPhones, now the QR code scanner is actually integrated in the camera app. So you don't need any third-party app on iPhones to scan a QR code. You scan this QR code, it will actually open up in Safari or in Chrome if you're on an Android phone. And then you can just install that wallet pass by clicking an add button. The browser automatically detected it's the format of a wallet pass, and it will install it in your mobile wallet. You can also install these things because they're just URLs, basically. You can also install this by texting to a mobile phone number. So as part of our mobile customer engagement solution, we also give you a phone number for your store in your local area code, where you can now, when shoppers text to that number, they will receive an SMS reply with a link to the wallet pass. They just click the pass in the SMS reply, and that installs it on their phone. So very interesting solution for mobile customer engagement, because it does not need any mobile app. Very good fit for small, medium business retailers who in a lot of cases don't have a mobile app, or people are just not going to install a mobile app, right, for a mom and pop shop. This allows you to bypass that whole app requirement. You can do mobile coupons, loyalty cards, event tickets. It works on iPhones and Android phones. We can do unlimited updates to install passes. We can do lock screen push messaging every time a pass gets updated. Very importantly, they're geofenced. So we can actually have a pass show up on the lock screen of the phone every time the shopper comes near your store. So once they have installed a pass and now they come within 100 yards from your store, you don't need any beacons because it works based on the position of the phone itself. Once they are within 100 yards from your phone, it becomes geofenced and it shows a message on the lock screen of the phone, reminding them that they have a loyalty card or a coupon, for that particular store on their phone, and they're within 100 yards, so it can drive traffic to the store. We provide a local phone number, as I mentioned, for onboarding, and we also have a mobile app that's optional for the retailers to redeem passes. Another way to onboard people is to actually use a feature on your Star printers, which is the promo print capability of Star, which allows you to print out a promotion next to a receipt. That promotion can have a QR code very similar to the QR code that you're showing on the screen, that then could be scanned by your customers on their phone, and that could install a digital version of the promotion on their phone. So we have mobile onboarding also through the Star printers through a mobile, printed coupon that you can print, and with the QR code that does a handoff to these wallet passes. So very interesting combination, because with the digital signage now you can have your product promotions showing on screen, your product recommendation, you can use your social media feed, you can have a news sticker, and you also have these mobile wallet passes that people are reminded of that they exist in your store. So that's the end of the webinar. I do want to mention a couple of things that are not on the slides, because that's probably the question: how much costs all this? Well, we want to make it very easy and very affordable. It's $99 per month for the POS signage. And the combination of our POS signage and our mobile wallet passes, is $99 also if you buy it standalone, $99 per month. But if you buy the combination of both, it's only $139. So for $139 a month, your retailer basically gets POS signage in the store, as well as these mobile wallet passes. There are a couple of limits, of course, in terms of the number of passes. The subscription covers up to 200 active passes per month. Once you go above that, it's actually less than 50 cents per month per extra pass. We only count the active passes in that number. So for this very affordable sum, you get what I believe is very exciting functionality that could really make a difference in driving revenue. We, of these amounts, give them 20% as a commission to qualified resellers that register a retailer opportunity. So what about more information? You see here some of the links. All participants in the seminar will receive a email after the webinar that will have the slides of this webinar, and the links will be enabled in those slides. So there will be hyperlinks in the slides that we will send you. We'll also send you a glossy on our POS signage that you can use with retail customers. And we'll also send you a signage white paper that was made by Star. Goes into a little bit more detail, actually covering a lot of the things that we talked about today in this webinar, but at least then you have it written down and you can read over it. A couple of things that you can go over. Our website link is there. We have a demo video of our POS signage, which is interesting. It's on YouTube. Gives you like a 1-minute view of how it looks for an example store. It shows you the product recommendations, shows you the mobile deals, and shows you the social media tweets in a 1-minute loop. Kind of shows different animations of what we can do there. Star did an interview with us at NRF last month. That is on that link. And then we also have a blog post about digital signage in SMB retail and how we, as Sophatar, believe we can address some of the 7 deadly sins, they're called there, the 7 problems that have plagued digital signage in SMB retail so far. If you need any more information, if you have an actual opportunity where you want to engage, we can do a couple of things. We can provide you a demo web-based signage media player and a few other things. So just don't hesitate to email us at this email address, info@sophatar.com. Talk about your use case, your customer, your application, and we'll be very happy to go into more detail. So finally, on the slides, the last slide, call to action. So if you're a reseller on this webinar and you have potential opportunities, please register on our affiliates website, affiliates.sophatar.com. There's some content that we'll make available there with easy ways to do Facebook posts and Instagram posts, easy way to repost that content under your timeline, so it actually is seen by your contacts. You can also there pre-register emails, as I mentioned, of your sales leads, so you will get the commission once those retailers sign up. Now, there's one requirement there. Because we have a sign up through the Star website, the email that you register has to be the same email as the one that the retailer uses on the Star website, because that's how we do the verification, basically, of the account and of the retailer. In terms of which type of stores that is a good fit at, well, if you look at the different retailers, obviously stores in shopping malls and strip malls that have outward-facing screen capabilities, right? In a shopping mall, you have traffic passing in front of the store, foot traffic. It's very useful to put a screen behind the storefront window that would show the product recommendations in that store and drive traffic into the store. So that's a clear opportunity, all stores in strip malls and shopping malls that have foot traffic in front of them. Secondly, stores with seasonal offerings, because there the catalog is going to change every couple of months. Think about a sports store. If it's NBA playoffs, you want to show, NBA type of gear on your signage. If it's Super Bowl, you want to show football gear. We track what's being sold in the store. It's going to automatically follow the seasonal products. Same thing for clothing and apparel stores. Very good fit for POS signage. Stores with a young and tech-savvy customer base. Think about tech stores, game stores. Quite a good fit, because those are the type of customers that will especially be interested in the mobile deals and installing it on their phone and so on. Stores with add-on and complementary products. Think about beauty salons, different services that can be layered on top of what the customer bought already and that we can promote on screens. They're a great fit. And if you subscribe to our mobile wallet pass add-on to the digital signage, also stores without a good loyalty program. You can come in basically as a reseller and say, look, for $139 per month, Mr. Retailer, I can give you nice professional looking signage in your store, as well as set you up with a complete loyalty program in your store. It's quite an interesting, proposition, I believe, without the need for a mobile app. In terms of the hardware, what's needed for hardware? So we do have a requirement for a Star printer, obviously, because that's how we get the sales data, and that's how we can avoid the integration with the POS. Makes it very easy for the retailer, because we can support many of the POS systems that are closed systems that may not have an API, that are older POS systems. We can integrate with them, or actually we don't need to integrate with them, because we get the data from the printed receipts. And the retailer needs to be registered on starcloudservices.com, because that's how they can sign up for POS signage with Star. We have either then a customer-facing display at the point of sale. It can be a consumer tablet, Android tablet, iPad, or it can be a professional touchscreen at the POS as a secondary display. Or you can have standalone in-store screens. You can have a TV or a professional signage display that then is driven by a standalone media player. Any questions about the hardware, please email us. We'll give you support in how to create a hardware bundle to go along with our POS signage subscription and make it an attractive, value proposition for the retailer. So that's the end of the webinar. Thank you for attending. And Kyle, I'll take any questions that have come up. If you have questions, you didn't enter them, please enter them on the panel there in the GoToWebinar panel window. And otherwise, Kyle, I'll take a few questions that came up already.
Great, Bart. Thank you. It was a wonderful presentation. A lot of information. It looks like some strong technology you have there. We do have a few questions already. How does a retailer go about signing up for this?
Yeah. So the retailer with the Star printer, you would have to essentially have already an account on starcloudservices.com. If you don't, then sign up for an account there. Just enter your email, create a password, and it will create an account for you on starcloudservices.com. You will then see under the available services that come with your printer, you will see Sophatar POS digital signage listed. And signing up is as easy as clicking the subscribe button on the Star Cloud Services website. You will be redirected to a Sophatar page where you will fill out a password on our website. And that's essentially all you need to do. Once you create that account, we will be in touch with you to set you up with the POS signage based on the number of screens you want to do and the point of sale system you have. So go to the Star Cloud Services website, create an account, log in, and click the POS signage button that you see on the Star website.
Okay. So if a retailer already has an existing display, how did they use Sophatar to show content? Or can they use Sophatar?
Yeah, so it's a good question, and the answer is yes. If you have an existing display and you use a media player, a lot of the media players today have playlist capability. So what you would have to do is say that you would already have a media player and a display showing some content in your store. You would want to add Sophatar to it. You basically create in your playlist software, you create an HTML5, campaign. We can assist in how to do that. We're very familiar how to do it with particular media players such as BrightSign, where you basically can set up a playlist, and for maybe 50% of the time or whatever you decide, or maybe you just want to show it in a window on the screen, not in the full screen, you have some other content layered next to the POS signage. Is absolutely possible. You basically set it up in your playlist software. So we provide, from our perspective, an HTML5 URL, and as soon as you play that URL on an embedded web browser, it will go through everything that's programmed for your store that we provide, and then you can combine it with other content that you layer on top of that, or that you make part of a playlist.
Okay. Is there a way to run a demo on the devices, or is that something they'd have to get in touch with you to get?
Yes, it is possible, and it's actually very easy to run a demo because the demo can run off a web browser. So you literally can do a demo on a laptop by just running Chrome or any web browser really, and pointing to our URL and getting a login to that URL. So if you have interest for a demo, then please email any of these email addresses that you saw earlier, info@sophatar.com, at sales@sophatar.com. We'll send you credentials for a demo account. It'll be for actually a lot of the screenshots that you saw in this presentation. The sports store, Joe's Sports Plaza, is an imaginary sports store. So we have that set up as a demo account. We can give you access to it as well, and that's how you can look at it. Or if you're a reseller, that's how you can demonstrate it to your retailers. You really don't need a screen and a media player to do a demo. You just need your own laptop, run Chrome on it, enter the URL, log in, and that's how you can demonstrate it.
Okay. What kind of retail stores have shown the highest return on investment with the signage?
Yep. The retail stores that would show the highest ROI are retail stores that either have a demographic that's a young demographic, that's a tech-savvy demographic, because they will be, susceptible to seeing that content in the store. And secondly, stores that have seasonal content, so where products change and people are interested to find out more. So products where there's high engagement with the product. So actually stores where people want to find out more information about the product, or where there are complementary products. So it's quite a wide, I think, applicability. But those are kind of the general traits where we see it. It makes a lot of sense. So if your store has a young demographic, a demographic that would be used to using smartphones, especially if you use our customer signage add-on or our wallet passes add-on to it, and then stores that would have a product catalog that changes, so that it makes sense to just have not a static playlist, but have a dynamic playlist that's contextual.
Okay, so which of the aspects of the solution, like the push notifications, the daily deals, which have you seen the most lift in the case studies?
Well, we actually see that it's the loyalty program, which is the add-on with the wallet passes, and linking that to promotions that change. So the combination of a weekly special showing on screens and then showing on a wallet pass, as well as a loyalty card that gives people a direct incentive, to go back to that particular store because, once they've done a number of purchases, then, they win store credit, for instance. I think that combination plays good to our, plays good to the advantages we can offer. So we can have signage promote the weekly specials. We can have a wallet pass show similar content, updating every week automatically on somebody's phone. And then we can have a loyalty card where the customer sees every time he's coming in the vicinity of that store, hey, I have 100 points on my loyalty card. I need 50 points extra, spend another $50 at the store, and I get a 10% store credit. That combination is what we've seen, makes a lot of sense. And that's why we kind of promote, the combination of the POS signage and the wallet passes. And we try to make it very attractive. So $99 for the signage, $99 for the wallet passes. But if you combine it together, it's only $139 per month.
All right, Bart, does the analytics data that Sophatar uses, is that also available to the retailer?
It is. So on one of the slides, I showed a screenshot actually. So I can't really go back to it very easily here, but there was one slide where I showed where the retailer could edit the recommendations. So that shows on the Sophatar website all the output essentially of our analytics engine, which can be the affinity products and the top sellers or the markdown products. We also are offering an ability to export that to a CSV file. So you can export those recommendations to just a spreadsheet file, a CSV file, import that into Excel or any other system that you have for running analytics. So yes, that data is also available from the web console.
Okay, I don't see any more questions coming in. We have a few more minutes if anybody would like to ask. But thank you, Bart. That was a wonderful presentation, very informative.
Well, thank you, and I hope the audience found it informational, and we'll be following up with all the attendees in terms of sending some of the collateral, after the webinar. So thank you all for attending, and thank you, Star, for the opportunity.
All right, thank you. Everybody, I guess this is the end. Nobody has more questions, so thank you for attending the webinar. We'll see you next time.